Hi all, it's Diana from Capawesome, and I'm here to give you a quick introduction on how to use environment variables in your Capawesome builds. Environment variables give you the possibility to change how your app builds and it behaves without changing the source code. So let's see how to do it in Capawesome Cloud. We are inside the Environments menu. And here I already created two different environments, production and development. But you can create here another one for staging, for example. Inside of each environment, you can define the variables and the secrets. Let's see what's the difference between these two. Let's start with the variables. Variables are regular environment variables that you can use, such as API URL, application environment, a feature flag like enable this cool new feature. So it's anything that is useful for configuration variables that are not sensitive. So in this example, you can see how I set the values for the development environment for each of these variables. If we go to production, you can see that I define different values for the same variables, like these are the production values. We also have the secret variables, which this is for sensitive information because these values will be encrypted, will not be shown in the build logs, will be encrypted everywhere. So this is for any sensitive data like authentication tokens, passwords, and all the important things. So again, you will set different values for each of your environments. And we also have other types of variables that you can use. Let's see in the documentation. Here you can see that we also have default environment variables, which are variables automatically set by the Capawesome Cloud for every build. These variables provide information about the build context and cannot be overridden, but you can use them to have information of what is happening. Also, there are reserved variables. So, for example, you could change the Node version or the Xcode version. Any of these variables are available to you to adjust for any specific configuration. So, for example, we will add the Node version variable to see how we could build the app to Node 22 instead of Node 24, which is the default. So if we go to production and we go to variables, you can see that I have already set this Node version 22. So we can create a build for production environment and see how the Node version should be 22. And we can then create a build for development and Node version should be default, which is 24. So let's start with the fun part, the builds. So we will see how to create a web build using the different environments we just created. Let's start with the development environment, okay? So as we saw, we want to see the development configuration injected in our application. Let's go inside the build. And how are we going to test this? Okay, I have an app. Let me open it on my iPhone. I have a demo app I already created, which is installed on my iPhone. And we will deploy this new build through a live update. So as you can see in this UI, I'm printing out the values of these variables. In the version I have on my phone right now, it was built with production environment. That's why these values say production. But if we now deploy this new version, this should read development, and here the development variable for this API URL. So let's see. First, I want to show you in the logs of this build here. Where are these environments set? So here you can see set environment secret, set environment variables, and also the node version, which is the default. Cool. So if we now go to deploy, I'm using the default channel here. Create. So this will create a live update that I will pick up on my phone. Okay, so we got the event that there is a live update. We will click OK. And as you can see, the new build is installed on my phone and it has the development configuration. Cool. Now, let's create another build for production. Create a build, platform, web, environment, production, build. If we now check at the variables logs, we should see, for example, that we are setting the node version. This is correct. And we should use node version 22. Cool. So this is ready. We will deploy it as a live update to my phone, default, create. So now when I go to my phone, I receive that there is a live update. Okay. And we have again the values from the environment we just did the build for, which is production. Cool. So let's recap. I showed you how to create different environments for your different configurations. We created the development and the production environments. We saw how to create variables and secrets for each of these environments. We also saw how to create a variable for a reserved environment node version. And we also saw how to create builds using each of these environments. So I hope this video was helpful. By using environments, variables, and secrets, you can easily manage different configuration for your Capawesome builds. So if you have any question, please let me know. Bye.